Hello, my lovely leaves. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. So, I didn't see any of the cards that popped out except for one at the onset while I was shuffling. This was the first card that popped out. And the song by Rihanna, um, Love on the Brain, just like belted in my head. And then you got the riddle and the judge, Anima Mundi and the dead end, the apocalypse and the desert. Leaves, I don't know. If this doesn't resonate, I apologize. Um, I'm just going to read what's coming through. And I feel like there is a relationship that you have undergone an ending with that has left you feeling very confused about how did you end up on the wrong side of judgment. And there's just like Veggie Tales. There's it's like this little alien that comes down and he's a white lie and then he grows into this big lie. And I feel like you're looking back over something, and I almost feel like there's like this idea of like we lie to ourselves all of the time, right? All of us. We all will lie to ourselves to convince ourselves that what we're doing is the right thing to do. Although ironically, I feel like most of the leaves that I know almost pride themselves on being somehow outside of the law. you know, for all of the justice that you guys stand for, you're about being outside of it. Because I think that you also are the types of people to recognize the fact that, like the system is flawed and there's no real justice in it. So you might as well work the system, right? That's something I've heard from a lot of my leaves. It's part of the reason that I love you guys so much, you know? But that being said, you've become very skilled at the art of talking your way around things. And I feel like you've talked your way around something to the point where it got you like absolutely nowhere at all. Like I just think of one of those, I don't know, those guys, and they just don't stop talking. And the more they talk, the more you're like, oh my God, stop. you know? I feel like that's what you're dealing with. That's the energy you're dealing with. Either you or somebody who you're dealing with, you can be on either side of the story, but it just feels like this conundrum of like, how could I have missed out on something that like it was my whole goal was to like get this person. And and it was like the more I tried, like the more I talked, like the deeper of a hole I was digging, to the point where this person became unreachable. you know how did that happen? Oh, I'm sorry for laughing, leaves. It's uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable, but it's like, but like, if you don't address an uncomfortable topic, if you don't address it and you talk around it and you dodge it, like it's still going to show itself, and I feel like that's the energy. It's like it's uncomfortable, but like it needs to be addressed. Okay, leaves. Love y'all so much. Sending you all my love. I get it. No judgment. You're in a safe space here. Okay, we have the Fool. What? That's not even one of these cards. Well, I guess we're gonna keep it. Um, the Emperor, the Eight of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, the Fool, the Seven of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles from a different deck. um, Again, I feel like it's this idea of manipulation, that's just kind of been like present in your reads for a while. And this idea of like no decision is a decision, and trying to manipulate things to, set up scenarios. And, like it just like, it felt very prescribed and very perfunctory and very boxy, like, and I don't know, I'm so much Leo that like I can't help but like there's to me, you want to insult somebody, don't acknowledge them as a person, as an individual. You know what I mean? Like stick them in a box. You know what I mean? But I almost feel like there was somebody who was either putting you in a box and not really acknowledging you as a person, or you're doing this to another person and doing it to the point where, like, I think in your mind you were like, oh well, no, because they'll be here for this, or that'll be that, or da 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 da, and it's again that like walking around everything and dodging the issue, dodging your way around it until, like you have to take somebody else into consideration, or until that person has to take you into consideration. And then all of a sudden, oh wow, yeah, well, how would you feel if you were on that, like, how would you feel, right? Like, how would you feel if I treated you the way that you treated me? You know what I mean? Like, how would that, and I feel like there's that, like that question, and it's like, well, once you can see it for what it is, then you can take a new direction that's decisive, because indecision, whether you are dealing with somebody who is being indecisive toward you and you are empathetic to their indecision, or if you are the one being indecisive, there's just been this high level of indecision that has gone on for such an extended period of time that it's become insulting. And a decision has been made to really, like go in another direction. But Leaves, I feel like you're coming into, if nothing, an understanding of something that I think otherwise felt very like, how did this happen? But I feel like you're figuring out how it happened. And maybe using that information to your benefit somehow, like when you go in that next direction, maybe don't act that way. Maybe don't make excuses for people who treat you that way, right? People want to complain about the way that other people behave, but they behave that way because they are enabled to behave that way. You feel me? And everyone wants to say that boundaries are bad. I would argue that enabling poor behavior is bad. Well, you have the Five of Wands, which is parting ways. The Page of Swords, really concentrating on your skill, figuring out, in this particular scenario, how it is that, pushing somebody to the side is, because I feel like there's this idea of like, well, because I knew I wasn't ready. And if I know I'm not ready and I don't want to fuck things up, then, isn't it better to just keep you in my life and know that you'll always be there than to just fuck things up now and never have a chance? And there's I hear what you're saying, or I hear what's being said, and I feel like it's like yes, but do you know what I mean? Creating an emotional cord that binds someone to you, that prevents them from moving on fully, because when we hold on to people, when we hold on to relationships, like it doesn't matter who you are. Like if I'm holding on to this relationship, you can just go ahead and turn around and walk away. I'm going to waste your time. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be entertainment for me while I'm waiting for this person. And so that person begins to develop relationships that are very unhealthy. And so you're asking somebody to wait for you instead of allowing for that parting of ways. And if it's meant to be, it will be, and you will come across each other again. I think of the movie Serendipity with John Cusack and that one chick. Can't remember her name right now. She dated Pete Davidson. Anyways, but do you know what I'm saying? And so, while yes, like, it's kind. It's kind with an undertone of selfishness that becomes very binding in a very negative way. And you end up losing in the end that way too, right? And I don't know, what's the best way to approach it? Just to acknowledge it for what it is. And if someday you feel like you're ready, call. You know what I mean? And if things happen to be ready on both sides, great. If not, like, sending all my love on that next leg of life. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, but it's healthy and it's not binding and it doesn't feel seedy and it doesn't feel manipulative, because I don't think that's your conscious intention, right? Because I think what your conscious intention is to, like, hold space for a loving, healthy relationship that maybe you just weren't ready for. And then by the time you got ready for it, this person was like, no, 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 no. Do you know what you've dragged me through? Like, do you see how, like, poorly I've been treated? Or you're saying that to somebody else. Like, do you not see, like, the habit that formed in our relationship and how negatively that's impacted me? I just feel like there's this level of accountability that's occurring. I don't know if you guys are having a conversation with somebody, and it's just like, or if you had a conversation with somebody and like, it left you like in that residual, like, sitting back and thinking about it and kind of understanding, because nothing is ever as simple as just this is what I was trying to do. Well, yeah, you were trying, but where did the other person's, how were they affected by your efforts? And did you stop to think about how your efforts were affecting them negatively? If you weren't, then you weren't being conscious of them in a loving manner. You were acting from your own desires and your own wants. Again, creating a cord to keep someone around so that when you get around to being ready, no. When you're ready, the person that you're meant to be with will be ready, and you will be ready together, and you will align together. And we have karmic relationships and we have karmic ties, and it is not uncommon for us to be tempted to hold on to those karmic ties. They're familiar, right? But familiarity doesn't mean health. And I feel like if you want to move forward, then you have to part ways. And I don't know how that'll play out for my leaves individually, because that feels like it could be very deep, like you're losing this person and you don't know if you're ever going to see them again. Or it could be not so deep, and it's like you didn't see them for a couple of weeks and you had to really think about it, and what do you really want, and why do you really want it, and you're ready, and you're ready, and you're ready to move forward. And so you're addressing the elephant in the room, because I kind of get the feeling that, like, dodging the conversation has been big on your agenda. Like, we can hang out, but we'll go and do this and we'll go and do that, so we don't ever have to really talk. Or we'll hang out with these people, we'll hang out with those people, so we don't ever really have to talk. We don't ever have to really address the issue. Leaves. Sorry, that felt like a very serious shift of energy. Temperance, the Hermit, and the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, because I think that you are wanting to sincerely work on any issues, and pulling away, whether you are the enabler or the enactor. It needs to change. And in order for there to be real change, there has to be a sincere addressing of the reality of the issue at hand so that things can actually be brought back into balance. And I feel like this is just an acknowledgement of the issue at hand and how you found yourself there and how you would need to proceed moving forward, right? One way or the other, whether you part ways and you acknowledge, like this person is not ready, I am not ready, and we need to just let this go so that we can live the lives that we're meant to live and stop holding on to something that's never going to happen, and hope to one day come back together again as healthy, evolved people, like maybe our paths will cross again. And if not, if it's something that you're wanting to move past and you want to, like pursue this relationship with this person, I think that it's requiring you to part ways with another area of your life. Maybe you've been just enjoying the dating scene and wanting to kind of, do that and not commit yourself to a relationship. And it's like, okay, well, if I want to actually be in a real relationship with somebody, then I'm going to have to let this lifestyle go. And you're parting ways with that lifestyle, like it can play out differently for so many of you. The shaman, I mean, again, releasing something, there's an idea of release. Either you're releasing this person or you're releasing an area of your life that's preventing you from moving forward with this person. Either way, it feels like the healthy thing to do, and I'm proud of you guys, because this energy does feel heavy. But you're figuring things out, and you're learning how you act and why you act, and I feel like our entire adult lives are just uncovering all of the subconscious behaviors that we acquired in our childhoods. Which is annoying as fuck, but it is what it is. All right, Leaves, well, I hope this resonates with y'all. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe if it does, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye.